You know, the scariest stories are the ones that start out totally normal, like, say, a late-night pizza delivery. What could possibly go wrong? Well, today we're breaking down a first-person account from a former Domino's driver that takes a routine job and turns it into an absolute nightmare. Let's get into it.
So the story starts with this quote right here, and man, it just hooks you immediately. This isn't just some story somebody made up. This is something that happened to a real person, and it was so weird, so terrifying, that even years later he still can't figure out if it was real or just a bad dream.
So how did this whole thing even start? Well, not with a bang, but with a simple phone call at the very end of a long, tiring shift. Okay, so picture this. Our guy is exhausted. He's a delivery driver, he's just finished his last run, and he is ready to punch out and go home. You know that feeling. In his head, the night is already over. And just as he's about to leave, the phone rings. The regular guy who takes the calls has already left, so the boss just kind of points to our narrator. He's annoyed, but he picks it up, thinking this is the absolute last thing he has to do before he can finally go home.
And right away, a few red flags pop up. The caller is a woman, but her voice is super quiet, like barely a whisper. The address she gives is way out there, kind of in the middle of nowhere. And then, before he can even ask for a name on the order, she just hangs up. The whole thing just feels off. So, probably cursing his boss under his breath, he heads out on this one last, super weird delivery. And this is the exact moment the night goes from just annoying to genuinely bizarre.
It's getting late now, around 11:30 at night. The road he's on is totally empty, it's bumpy, and it's surrounded on both sides by this thick, dark forest. I mean, it's literally the perfect setup for a horror movie. And then he sees something. A little boy just standing there by himself on the side of this creepy, deserted road.
So, being a good person, the driver gets worried. He pulls over and offers the kid a ride home. But the boy, he's like a statue. Doesn't say a word, doesn't even move, just gives him this blank stare. It's so unnerving that the driver just gives up and keeps going, completely rattled by the whole encounter.
He finally gets to the address, but that creepy feeling he got back on the road? Yeah, it's about to get a whole lot worse. He pulls up, and the house is pitch black, not a single light on anywhere. It looks totally abandoned. He figures maybe they just fell asleep waiting for the pizza. But then, as he's watching, one single light flicks on in an upstairs window.
All right, so he gets out of the car, walks up to the door, and rings the bell. He waits. Nothing. Dead silent. So he rings it again, and this time he hears footsteps, slowly making their way to the door.
The door opens, and his heart just stops. It's the boy. The exact same kid from the side of the road, miles back. The one who was just standing there, not moving, not saying a thing.
And this is the question just screaming inside our guy's head. It makes no sense. It's physically impossible. There's no way that kid could have beaten him to the house. But there he is. The math just isn't mathing.
And the boy is acting the exact same way he was on the road, totally silent, with that same empty, blank look on his face. The driver tries talking to him, asks where his parents are, and gets absolutely nothing back. Just this eerie silence and an empty stare.
So at this point, our driver just wants his money so he can get the heck out of there. But the situation is about to go from creepy to downright terrifying.
He's just standing there in this awful, awkward silence, when all of a sudden, a scream rips through the house. It's coming from that upstairs room where the light was on, and it's not a scared scream. It's a scream of pure agony.
And that's it. That's the breaking point. The shock is so sudden, so real, his body just reacts. The pizza box literally just drops from his hands and hits the porch. Fight or flight mode is officially on, and he is choosing flight. He doesn't even think. He just turns and bolts. Pure animal instinct takes over. He sprints to his car, fumbles with the keys, gets in, and just floors it, getting away from that dark house, that silent boy, and that horrible scream as fast as he possibly can. So once he's a safe distance away and his heart is still pounding out of his chest, he does the only rational thing you can do in a situation like that. He calls the police. He tells them everything that happened, totally freaked out about the woman he heard screaming. The police, of course, go to investigate his report. But the explanation they come back with, well, it's so much worse than anything he could have ever imagined.
A little while later, the cops call him back. They checked out the house and found nothing. It was completely empty. No woman, no little boy, and get this, not even the pizza he had dropped on the porch. The place was vacant.
But wait, it gets even weirder. The police then tell him that nobody has lived in that house for 2 full years. It's been completely abandoned the whole time.
And this is the history of the house. The last people who lived there were a family of 3. 2 years ago, the husband murdered his wife and their 10-year-old son right there in that house. The police found their bodies 3 days later. The husband took off and was never found, and the house has been empty ever since. Suddenly, the quiet woman on the phone, the scream of pain, the blank-faced boy, it all clicks into place in the most terrifying way possible.
And that leaves us with the final, chilling question that our narrator is still haunted by. Was it all just a crazy nightmare? Or did he somehow stumble upon the ghosts of a horrific tragedy and deliver one last pizza to a family that was no longer among the living? Whatever the truth is, it's still out there in that dark, empty house.